Hey everybody, welcome. It's Timmy here. Oh, I can't see without my glasses, but I see that light is always in my face, so I apologize if that's distracting. I am so excited to be with you here live tonight. It has been just an incredible week. Got some wonderful response from my home community about some classes that I'm going to be offering at my house, and I'm so excited. So in addition to doing my lives on a weekly basis, excuse me, I'm also going to start to offer what I'm calling sippin' chalks. Excuse me, I need a sip. Where we'll actually get to create together with a group of friends and have some fun. So you'll be seeing some information about that hopefully on my on my pages. So if you're not following my business page, it's facebook.com/Timmy Paccio, Paccio. So please feel free to like that and share it with other people that you think might be interested. Also, I do have a VIP group, and that's specifically for folks who want to know what it is I'm doing and would like information about special projects or classes or any of that I'm offering. So we'd love to have you be part of my VIP group. So definitely check that out. You can see the link for that on my Facebook page. Just request it and I'll be happy to add you in. So before we jump into our project tonight, I'm just going to make sure that we get this shared over to that VIP group. So just give me a sec here to make sure we are indeed going live and things are working as expected. I saw myself here a minute ago and it disappeared. So we always have to figure out where it goes on Facebook. Oh, let's see. I have so much stuff on my page these days that it's taking me a little while to follow it all through and find it. So hopefully you're not having a hard time finding it. We'll wait for a few minutes to get started just so that everyone who wants to be here with us can be. All right, excellent. I think I found us. All right, wonderful. So now I should be able to see any comments that come in. So as you're coming in, or if you're watching this in the replay, please say hi. And I'd love it if you'd comment, 1, if this is your first time ever watching one of my lives, or 2, if you've seen it before. That would be really awesome. I'd love to hear from you about that. And I'm just going to go ahead now and share this off to my VIP group. So those of my friends that have just joined onto my VIP group will be able to watch us. Here we go. Posted that there. Excellent. And I got one more share to go and we'll be ready to get started. Perfect. All right, I think we are ready to go. So tonight, as you might have seen on my note, I am really excited to come to you to help honor all of those loved ones of ours that are surviving and fighting with that horrible, dreadful disease of cancer. We have a beautiful new set of transfers around awareness that I'm going to share with you tonight. And I'm also going to use some words from our Braver, Stronger, Smarter transfer that we used a few lives ago when we created a banner with it. This idea is not mine. It's not an original idea. This actually came from one of my directors here at Couture. And she is fabulous. Her name is Jessica, and I was watching one of her YouTube videos, and she was doing this, but on a small board, and I wanted to take some of that ideas and show it to you and see how you might like it. So hopefully you'll enjoy it as well. I was really impressed when I saw it. So again, if you're joining in and you're watching, please feel free to say hi. I'd love to know who's here with me. Give me a wave or send some hearts along if you hear something that sounds good. I definitely would love to hear and get your feedback. One of the great things about doing these lives is that I do get feedback from people who are watching, and I love to be able to communicate with you that way. So don't be shy. believe me, I am new to this whole live game, and I'm still trying to figure it out. For the first couple of times I was sideways and upside down, and my recordings were a little funky. Hopefully I have battled that through, and now we can actually do this and the words won't be upside down. But if they are, don't be surprised, because I definitely am still just watching and figuring it out as I go. So for those of you who don't know me, hey Sue, so glad you're here. Say hi, send a wave, nice to see you. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Timmy, and I am a chalk couture designer by night, I guess you could say. This is actually something that I do a little bit in my time outside of my full-time job, which I love very much. I get to work for a really awesome software company from home, and I work with a great team of people. But I really got drawn in by chalk couture when I went to a scrapbooking conference and met a friend for lunch, and a designer was there showing us how chalk couture works. And it is just so simple. It's mind-blowing how easy it is. I don't know what that was. Something just fell behind me. It's just so simple, but it is so relaxing, and it feels so exciting when you peel up the transfer and reveal the design underneath. So every time I do it, I get excited, and I hope that you'll get excited too when you watch it and see what it's all about. If you're interested in learning a little bit more about purchasing products, or hosting a party, or a class, really, I kind of call them classes versus parties, or even learning a little bit about what I do and what it's like to be a designer, please let me know. I'd be happy to share that with you. No pressure, definitely not at all. It's a really fun thing, and I wanted to make sure that I mentioned it in case you're interested. Okay, so as I said, we're going to be using our Braver, Stronger, Smarter. So you want to see what that is so we know what we're talking about here. So this is our you are braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, smarter than you think, more loved than you know. Definitely one of my favorite sayings ever. And we're actually just going to use the word brave and the word strong for this design tonight. And then we're going to take some pieces from the transfer that we have, the awareness transfer that I was talking about. So this awareness transfer has several different components to it. You see they're here at the bottom. If you might recall, last time we chatted a little bit about this, when I use a transfer, instead of putting them back on the transfer sheets, sometimes I keep them on the transfer sheets, especially when they're larger ones. But when they're smaller pieces, it makes it a little bit easier for me to put them into an artist portfolio book, and so that's where I keep these. So hey Liz, so glad that you could join me today. Nice to see you. So we've got a couple of different things. We're only going to use one or two things from here, and I'm not quite sure. It might be this bigger ribbon, and I am a survivor, but we're going to kind of test it out and see what happens. Now, we're going to be chalking on our 9x12 boutique board, and I'm just going to put this aside and get it out of the way for the moment because we're not ready for it. And this is a black framed board. We also have this same board in white. This is a beautiful board, can be reused. In other words, our chalk paste, as you know if you've watched me before, it's going to go on wet and it's going to dry hard. But if we decided that we no longer wanted this design, we could just use a little bit of water and wipe off it with a nice board eraser or a piece of paper towel if you don't have a board eraser, and then put a new design on it. So that's actually what I did this morning. I had a different design on this board, and actually I had it vertical, but we're going to go horizontal today. And you can see that there are hanging options for both horizontal or vertical. This does come from Chalk Couture. Now, one of the great things about our chalk pastes and our transfers, they can really be used on any surface. You don't have to use our boards, but our new pastes in particular were formulated to work really well with these new boards, and their price points really are great. This board framed is $19.99, so it's a pretty nice deal. And it's a good way to kind of step into some of the nice chalkboard offerings that we have. All right, so as I said, we are only going to be looking at taking these two words. Now, one of the things I could do is I could choose to cut it, but I don't want to cut this transfer. I have definitely on occasion, when it's been a larger transfer like this, cut it up, and it certainly is an option, but I'm going to try to do it in such a way that we're only going to peel back the part that we need and adhere that to the board. Now, when we're working on a larger board like this, that's probably going to work okay. Now, we're going to test it out. If it doesn't work okay, you'll know not to do it. That's kind of one of the nice things, right, about watching me do these things, because I can make all the mistakes and you can fix them when you do them, right? So what I've done is I've taken my little microfiber cloth here, and I am going to just give my transfer, especially this word brave here that we're going to be using, a little bit of fuzzing. Why do we do that? Well, the fuzzing really just helps the transfer be a little less sticky. For those of you that are new to our transfers, these are silk screen adhesive back transfers, and they are reusable. All you need to do is wash them off with a little bit of water after you're done, and clean them with a little disinfectant wipe, and put them back on the backer, and you're ready to use them again another time. Because they are adhesive back, especially when you first start to use them, they get really super sticky, and sometimes it's hard to pull it up off the board, and so we just fuzz it to make it a little less sticky. It's not hurting your transfer. It's not affecting you being able to use it over and over again. Usually about 8 to 12 times is generally what we hear when we're using our transfers. If you treat it really well, you might get a little more use out of it. It just kind of depends. But definitely you can expect to be able to use it over and over again, and you can use it on any surface. So we're using it today on a chalkboard, but you can use it on wood, you can use it on painted furniture, you can use it on your painted walls. You can, if you think about it, you probably can put it on there. In addition to our chalk paste that we also have what we call Couture inks, and those inks can be used on fabrics, textiles, pillowcases, t-shirts, you name it, and also ceramic and glass. If you heat set our inks, then it becomes permanent. So that's a little bit different from our chalk paste. As we know, the chalk paste do dry hard, and you won't be able to rub it off just by wiping it over with your hand. It won't come off on your hand like our old style chalkboards used to, but it will wash off with water. And I definitely have people who ask me this all the time, if you decided that you wanted to be able to keep your chalk designs permanent, in other words, you have no desire whatsoever to get rid of it, then you can seal it with a little bit of sealant if you want. So that's definitely an option. I use a matte spray when I do it, when I want to keep something permanent that I've chalked on. Of course, once you've done that, then remember, you won't be able to undo it. So now this is the tricky part, is kind of figuring out where I want this to go, because I'm only going to use a little bit of this transfer and only up to this E. So I want to make sure I'm pretty well centered. And of course I can see I'm already not centered. So, and because I have left this rest of this on the backer, it's going to be a little easier for me to move it around, I'm hoping. Guess we'll find out, huh? It does stick pretty well, as you can see, though, so take your time and make sure you get it where you want it. And then once it's down, make sure that you don't have any air bubbles underneath, okay? We want not to have any air bubbles over our silk screen area, because if we do, then we're going to end up having some bubbles in our paste. Now, one of the things that I tend to do is I'll use my squeegee. By the way, I've taken out my nice pink squeegee. This, unfortunately, is not available for sale, but it is ones that we got when we went to convention. Couture had their very first convention in Salt Lake City, and I had the awesome privilege of going. and they made these wonderful guys available to us to purchase, so I had to pick up a few. And since we're doing cancer awareness, it seems apropos. So we're going to take our white chalk paste, and we can just give it a quick stir. Again, we want our chalk paste to be about yogurt consistency, or marshmallow fluff. As I look at this, that's what it reminds me of. It is, if it gets a little hard on you, don't worry, just take a little water bottle and give a couple of squirts and you will be all set. This actually looks like it's pretty good, so there's not much I think I need to do to it to get it ready. And we're going to go right here. Now, one of the things that you can do is if you're concerned about hitting into that R and you don't want to, you could just take a little piece of painter's tape and cover that up. So that way if I get a little close there, I don't have to worry about it. Now you could do that at the top and the bottom too, but I'm not too worried. I think we're going to be in pretty good shape. So we're going to dip our squeegee right into our chalk paste jar, and then we're going to take this and we are going to pull the chalk paste over the lettering. So it's just this negative space, that is the parts that are not green, that we want to make sure we get good coverage on, because that's the negative space, that's the screen part that is going to be left on the board. And remember, you know what, you don't have to be perfect. If you get a little on it beyond where you mean to, you can just take a little bit of water, because we know it's water soluble, and we can go ahead and just fix our mistakes. So don't panic too much if it looks like things are going to go off where you want. We can always fix it. All right, so I'm just going to squeegee off the extra. So I'm just going to draw my squeegee across and pull up any extra gobs here. I know that's a nice technical term, right? The gobs. All right, and we're going to peel and reveal. Nice, even pull. Like that. So there we go. We've got our Brave. Now, we're going to peel this a little farther back, and we're going to place down our Stronger word. And I'm going to put that right under. Let's see. This backer sheet's going to get in my way. It might very well. So if we need to move something, we will. It wouldn't hurt it as you to fuzz where we were on the Stronger if you need to. I've used this before, so I'm not going to panic too much. And I'm just going to try to eyeball this to get it where I think it should go. Now I'm holding it up over the area where we had Brave. It's starting to dry now, so it should be okay. You probably can't see what I'm doing because I'm hiding it from you. You know what? Let's do this just in order to make things go a little more smoothly. Let me just grab my hair dryer here, nifty hair dryer, and we're just going to give this a little bit of a tap. I got this on cold. Hey Cindy, thanks so much for joining. Nice to see you. You get the fun hair drying part. Paul, I see you're with us as well. That is awesome. Thanks for joining tonight. Now I'm just going to give this a little touch. All right, I think we're still a little. So we're going to give this another touch here. Because not only are we going to put down these two words, but then we are going to take some of those beautiful sayings from our awareness. I'm just taking this guy off. He's in the way. All right, and then we're going to take some of the sayings from our awareness option, and we are going to, I think it's okay to put that down now. I think so it's not going to cause too much problems. But as you can see, I have a little bit of a bubble, or maybe you can't see, but I can see a little bubble here. So I might need to pull this up and fix it. Now, if I really wanted to make this easier on myself, I could have done a couple of things. One is, which I'm going to do right now, is I'm going to take this cloth. Since it likes to stick to everything, I'm just going to take this cloth and use it to help keep things under control. All right, that's a little better. Awesome. Okay. And then I am going to lift up here and make sure that this is where I want it and there are no bubbles. So I haven't started chalking my stronger word yet, and we're only doing strong. So let's see if we can get that laid down where we want it. Now you can see my towel's a little bit in the way. All right, I think we're on, and we look pretty bubble-free. I'm just gonna give this a good rub down one more time. Since we're working this hard, not quite hard, but you know what I mean. To get it right, there's no sense messing it up now. All right, so I think we're in good shape. Now we're gonna go ahead and take our white chalk paste and chalk our strong. And then we're actually gonna do a layer. We're gonna actually layer on our ribbon over these two words. And then in between, I think that is where we're going to put in, as a third layer on top of the ribbon, our survivor word. That's what I'm thinking. Of course, we may get there and change our minds, but that's all right. We can do that. It's one of the nice things about this product. Super flexible. You can change your mind, and if you don't like where it went, you can just redo it. That's all it takes. A little bit more, I think. And don't worry about putting it on a little thick to begin with, but you definitely want to make sure that you take the time to squeegee it off once everything's covered, because that will give you a nice what will it give me? A nice, sorry, I'm distracted by my own squeegeeing here. It'll give you a nice even layer. So I'm just going to grab here a little disinfectant wipe so I can clean off my pink squeegee. You saw my watch there. Nice. Wasn't that nice of me to put that right in your face? Okay, here we go. And see, our brave was not affected. And there is our strong. All right, so I got to be honest, I meant the strong to be under brave, but it's all right because we are going to add some other beautiful designs from our awareness, and I think we're going to figure out how to balance it off. That's my deal. I'm going to stick to that. What do you think? All right, so I'm just going to put our transfer here into a water bath that we just used so it can soak while we finish up and do the next part. So this is a very sticky transfer, and I want to make sure I get it in there so we'll be able to reuse it again without problem. Usually I'm working at my kitchen sink when I'm doing this, so this is a little trickier trying to do this while I am on camera. All right, so we've got our brave and strong. Here we go. Let me not move that out of that area. And I'm going to leave the white open because we are going to use that again in a minute. And it's probably a good time. Hey, Jody. Nice to have you. Thanks for joining. Be sure to say hi. And by the way, guys, if this is your first time watching, please let me know. Put a comment in and put a number 1 in and let me know. If you've watched before, put in a comment too. I would love to hear and see how many of you are new to us and how many have joined us before. All right, so we're going to give that a second or two to dry. Now, if you're paying really close attention here, you'll see that there were a few places where I went outside the lines. It's all right. We're going to take a Q-tip and just going to squirt it with a little bit of water on my desk and make a mess here. And we're just going to take our Q-tip and fix any areas that got a little outside the lines. Wasn't too many. And as my good friend Susan always says, if your handcrafted item looks too perfect, then everyone will think that it was machine made and not real. So if it's not perfect, it's all right. It doesn't have to be perfect. That's one of the great things about this. But if you're a super perfectionist and need to fix it, you absolutely can. All right, so our brave is definitely pretty well set, as we know. I'm going to give this strong one more shot here. So I see my fellow designer Paula is on with us. Paula, it's so nice to have you here today. We're really excited because together this weekend we will get to be at the Hot Air Balloon Festival in Plainville, Connecticut. We are one of like 100 or so vendors, I think I heard, that will be at the event. So that's really exciting. Paula is incredible with her design work. She makes finished products with Couture, and she is an incredible craftswoman, and I can't wait to see some of her things. And she will be there selling those, and I will be at the craft fair selling Couture products. So if you're around and you're local and you want to stop by, please be sure to say hey. And if you tell me that you've watched my videos or you're a member of my VIP group, I'll have a little special treat for you. So be sure to tell me that you have watched me or that you are a member of my VIP group. Speaking of VIP groups, if you are not a member of my VIP group, please feel free to go ahead and type in VIP. I would love to have you be a part of my group. That group is where I give special offers, offer class information, offer some discounts, give you some project ideas, also let you know when new things are coming out, which heads up. We do have a mini catalog coming out in the middle of September, so we just came out with the brand new transfers, as you know, not too long ago, July 1st, or was it August 1st? I can't even know it was July 1st. We have a whole slew of new ones coming in too. All right, so here we go. We're going to grab some of our, because I think it's safe. I'm going to touch here. Everything feels pretty good. So you can see I am rubbing on this and nothing on my hands. So it is on here pretty good. So, as I said, what we're going to do is we're going to layer on this ribbon. I'm going to take it off. That's all that noise that you hear there. We're going to layer on this ribbon right over this Brave and Strong. And I'm going to use this beautiful wild berry paste that we have. This is one of my favorite new colors that came out. And I think it's going to be really nice here. Now, my original thought was I was going to have it right here dead center, but I think because I did not quite line it up in the way that I was envisioning I was going to, I think I'm going to put it right over here and layer it right over the top on the side. Maybe a little farther down. Now, the key with layering is this. Two things. One is certainly make sure that you've got it adhered well to your surface and there are no bubbles. Bubbles are your bane of my existence. But then when we go to pull it up, we're going to do so slowly and gently because we want to make sure that we don't pull up that bottom layer. So that's really what's going to do it. One, you got to make sure it's really dry. And we tested it, and it's definitely pretty dry. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. but we want to also make sure that when we pull up the transfer, to avoid pulling up underneath, we want to just pull it up really nice and slow. Take our times. All right, my nice clean pink squeegee is back. Got my wild berry paste, and we are ready. Let's do it. Now, I love this wild berry paste. I love how it goes on. Each paste has, I've noticed, a little bit of its own character, meaning that depending on the pigments that were used to create it, some are smoother than others. Although the new formulation that they're using now here to make our chalks, generally speaking, they are just incredibly smooth. So the new ones are really wonderful that way. All right, here we go. We're going to peel and reveal this second layer really slowly, carefully, so that we don't pull up any white. So far, so good. I'm gonna use my hand here just to make sure we've got a good. All right, so that looks like I didn't pull up any white, but I didn't get enough paste there. So I'm gonna let it be for the moment. I'm gonna pull it up. We could fix it by either laying this back down again, or we could use a little bit of paintbrush, but I'm not too worried about that. So let's let it be for the moment. And I'm going to stick this in my water bath along with the other transfer I have soaking here. Hopefully not causing any chaos, which I'm good at chaos, so it could be. Probably you're wondering where I went. I turned my back to you and the camera. All right, and so we've got our Strong and Brave, and I'm thinking that we want to use the I Am a Survivor and put it right in here. What do you think? All right. Gonna whoop. Oh, and I got the wrong one. I got Awareness, and I wanted I Am a Survivor. We also have Find the Cure, or Supporting the Fighters, or Never Give Up. Oh, there's so many good choices, and I love all the fonts. I'm not sure which one is best, but I'm going to say we're going to stick to the I Am a Survivor option. Now, if you notice, starting to change color a little bit, that's letting me know that it's drying. You can see this edge here is starting to just get a little lighter in color. Not totally dry yet, but I think it's well on its way. And you know, I have to say, I was originally thinking I was going to put white here, but I have totally changed my mind. I think that because we did the off center of our ribbon, that I am going to use this. Let's see if I can get it to fit right in there. And if it overlaps a little, it's all right. I think that would be perfectly fine. What do you guys think? Let's test it out and see. Like I said, the worst thing is we don't like it and we fix it, right? No big deal. Now I'm just using the same small squeegee that I was using before. It's a different color. These are the ones that we sell, these teal color. And you'll notice it's a little smaller, and that's actually because I cut it into thirds, sometimes in half, thirds, or even quarters. And that way it gives me a little bit more control over working on some of the areas that are smaller. So I just prefer to have a little bit more control over my area, and I think the smaller squeegees help me to do that. So that's what I use. And again, we're just gonna pull this off. Again, remember, nice and slow since we're overlapping, or we've got some, yeah, there we go. What do you think, guys? I think I like it, even though my intention initially when I put this down was that I was gonna have it be right on. I think this looks great. So there we go. We have brave, strong, I am a survivor. Now if that little area here where I'm sewing some white is bothering you, we can absolutely take our transfer and just lay it right back over this when it's dry and give it a little touch up. Or as I said, we could also just take a little paintbrush and add some chalk paste with a little bit of water there and paint that on so it is not a problem. So that's it, guys. That is all it took to create this cute little sign supporting all of the men and women who are battling cancer or other issues in their lives. So what's really awesome is our chalk pastes come in lots of different colors, so you can absolutely use this set to make a ribbon of any color that you want. So if you know someone who's struggling with a certain type of cancer and that cancer is associated with a different ribbon color, absolutely you could do that. So whatever you'd like. Hey Cindy, thanks so much. I'm glad you loved it. It is such a fun and relaxing activity. I have to say it's one of the best things I have found in all the craft activities I have done in my life. And what's really awesome is it doesn't take a lot of space, it doesn't make a lot of mess, and like I said, if you mess it up, it's no big deal because you can just erase it and start over. It's just that simple. So a nice little pink bow on here, and I think this would be a great gift to give. Maybe a little bit of a gingham bow might be really nice. I'm really into buffalo check and gingham these days, so that would be really cute. But anyway, I hope you thought this was interesting and fun. If you'd like to learn more about Couture, definitely, or if you'd like to watch my videos going forward, please feel free to bookmark this page. When I go live, if you add a notification that you want to see when they come up, then you'll be notified right away. I tend to try to do my lives about once a week. I try to go on Wednesdays, but depending on what's happening, I sometimes miss out. Wednesday is my husband's birthday, so I wanted to come to you a little early because we're celebrating on tomorrow. But any questions whatsoever, please feel free to reach out. If you want some information about my classes, definitely check out my Facebook, and don't forget to join my lives. But I hope you had a great time, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.